Hello, my name's Kim and I'm a herbalist and storyteller, and I live in Lewes, East Sussex. And today I'm going to talk about what a herbalist is and what herbal medicine does. And I had recorded one of these earlier on and haven't quite got round to uploading it, and probably just as well because I think I have decided to orientate it a little bit more to where we find ourselves as the human race at the moment. It's March 2020 and we have this unfolding time of the coronavirus and all the things that's throwing into focus or out of focus if we don't know what we're doing. So anyway, let's just say herbal medicine is the oldest medicine of the planet. 80% of the world's population rely on it in some shape or form and have done since way back when. And if we look, if you're someone who's been looking at how the coronavirus has been unfolding, you'll maybe have read that the Chinese have used a lot of herbal medicine because they still hold that in very high regard. It hasn't got demonised like it has, say, in Britain for some strange reason. So there's a lot that we'll come on to about that in a bit. So as a herbalist, I'm trained as a Western medical herbalist. Over 20 years ago is when I did my training, 4 years of training, and that involves things like medicine and differential diagnosis and looking at the pharmacopoeia of the plants and how they interact, as well as looking at orthodox medicine and how these need to be any contraindications need to be taken care of there. And also then looking at what is health, how do we help the body find its well-being, and that's whether it's an acute illness that needs to get, the body needs help with, or chronic conditions, which, as I have practiced and as the modern world creaks on, we see quite a lot of those in my practice. So during my training, over 500 hours of clinical practice, so seeing patients coming in and training there, so that's a lot of hours. And then throughout one's working life, one of course just builds experientially, working with people, and one's knowledge of the herbs. It never really quite stops, and the wonder never really quite stops of what they can do. And within that, I also grow a lot of my own medicines and make a lot of my own tinctures. So it's a very low impact, sustainable industry, if we want to use that word. I also do buy things run out, or there might be extra needs. I mean, at the moment there's an extra need with the way the world's going, so I've got some extra stocks in. So that, in terms of that, my priority obviously is people already on my current patient list. Some have the underlying health, we're all going to bit fed up with that phrase, but have got other health issues going on which they're going to need support with, those ongoing health issues, and making sure that we can optimise their immune system against viral infection as best we can. And I'm also obviously supporting friends and family, and I'd say there is still space for me to take people on, and I'm a great believer in our kind of local communities. So if you're a Lewes person, I'm still open for business. Obviously don't come if you're ill, and maybe there's a place as well that we do telephone or Skype consultations. I usually do say actually that first consultation needs to be face to face, because we pick up a lot of information about someone's physical well-being from that, but we may need to adapt that. So I'll put my details at the end if you should be interested in pursuing that, because what this whole pandemic is throwing up is how really those of us that are able or interested and capable of doing so, how our health is within our own hands, and we need to take as much responsibility as we can, because those of us that can take care of that, do you know what, we're going to be better, and we're not going to put a burden on the health system. And so yeah, number one, let's think about, I'm just wondering aloud really, and I don't want to sort of digress too much in this area, but is our anxiety about being ill and having, this disenablement, this unenablement, or whatever the word is, to take care of ourselves, lacking our own confidence, is this worse than the actual viral process for many? And so stay resourced, and by resourced I mean not going out and panic buying. In fact, do the things that collectively encourage the best of humanity, not the worst. Do we want to be remembered for the person that grabbed things out of someone else's trolley? I heard someone did that today. Or do we want to be the people who just took what we needed in the time, that weekly need, and we made sure there was things for others? So yeah, stay calm. So where you can, go out, get in the fresh air. The sun's coming out, go and sit in the sun. That's really good for your health. Walk where you can. Sleep well. Don't obsess about this on social media or the mainstream media. Limit it. Get the resource facts that you need, and then turn the thing off. There is an off button. And eat well. Eat as much fresh fruit and vegetables as you can. Cut back on the sugars, cut back on the alcohol, cut back on the smoking, because let's look at the things that really we do know from the information that's coming out. Of course, the people who are having any flu-like illness, if your lung capacity is compromised or your immune system is compromised, you're going to find it a lot harder to fight it off and to just deal with the symptoms of it. So maybe it's time to think about taking care of yourself rather than thinking someone else will sort it out at a later date. So let's just quickly come back to what a herbalist does, in his or her clinic space. When someone comes to me, we sit down, it's private, it's confidential, and we do all the usual things like, take names and addresses, and then I get people to talk about why they've come along, what they're hoping the herbs will help with, and when did maybe that one symptom or the condition start, what else was going on, what helps and what hinders. I will go through their drug, what they're taking at the moment, whether that's prescribed medication or things that they're taking themselves, supplements as well. I'll look through, get them to talk about their past medical health, and their lifestyle and their diet. So with that, I'm getting a big overview of how their body's functioning. It's a good old-fashioned case history, and from that we then work out a program of what herbs we want to put in place and what are the main things they want to focus on and enable that. And because how the herbs work, things start to shift and change. So then either the emphasis may change on what they want to deal with, or within that the herb mix can change. So a very adaptable, flexible healing system. And just thinking about we've got this obsession, of course, the overwhelming obsession with COVID-19. But that's not to say that other health issues may already be present for you or may crop up. So like with my patients, as I said, I'm focusing on keeping their well-being going and my friends and family. But if other things crop up, is the health system, is your GP going to have capacity? Are they going to be, are there going to be enough of them? Are they, they're going to be really challenged. My husband used to be a doctor. I know how tough it gets in the system. So, please, this is a plea that there are other herbalists around the country, and go and find them, or if you want to use my services, please do. There's lots that can resource you, and I'll do another video, part 2, just to look in a little bit more detail of maybe some things that we can do right here, right now with spring and with our food. And I'm not going to offer you a cure-all because it's actually not, there's not a cure-all to this. It's about being systematic, being caring, being considered to yourself. And that takes time, it takes diligence and attention. And you're worth taking care of. Our bodies are amazing, and they will invariably do their best by us, as it were. I mean, it's all one. I don't say, they're not separate. So, if we take care of our mind, our bodies, and our kind of how our hearts are feeling, there's an integrated process going there, and we will feel better. All right, so thanks for listening. I'll put my contact details up and look forward to talking to you again. Thanks a lot. Bye.